This
minutes.
conference will now be recorded.
All right, guys, as always, everything we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So, TWOU. All right, so we talked about something coming into this morning. One of the biggest things that we have to understand is that if a stock needs to pull up, somebody's going to make money on it. And I think that Camille said it absolutely perfect as we were going into the open. There was no runners that came in at all. No runners whatsoever came in on that ass side. We know for a fact that this stock was way overranged during the pre-market and that it was going to be acting as an exception. So not seeing those runners come in whatsoever to try to pull this thing back, we knew on a trigger it was time to go. So absolutely perfect trade. Now, one mistake I made, and not many people out there will tell you their mistakes because everything is always winning trades and winning trades. But guess what? We learn a lot from what our mistakes. I'm going to tell you what happened. So coming into right here, you guys can see I put in the chat. I even put a little arrow with the actual words in it that I was not going to get out until the stock broke. Unfortunately, we saw a bunch of covering coming back in, and it started getting towards, a little bit towards lunchtime, which is no excuse whatsoever, but I didn't follow my game plan. And you know why that I didn't follow my game plan is because I had things going on around me. As you guys, we talked about an on-site, no one's allowed to talk to me until 11 today. I just had things happen, and we know that. And I was already up a whole bunch off of the trade coming back in, but if I would have held my runner, I actually got in at a terrible point, one of those shoot from the hip positions. And it wasn't really a shoot from the hip because a shoot from the hip is usually something that, really is just, continue. It's almost like a parabolic move that comes back in. But I ended up getting back in right about here because it just would not break up above. It was just a perfect setup to show us that if it did not get above there, we hold it. And that's exactly what I should have done. So my trade was not perfect whatsoever, but I ended up getting back in. The reason behind that is because there's certain psychological levels that we know that there's going to be games, but we also have psychological levels when it's coming in that all we see is selling or all we see is buying, and over and over and over again, and tells us there's no chance in the world it's not going to break that level. I put it in the chat. There's no chance in the world that it was going to hold 15, and look where we ended up at our lows, right at 12 exactly. Remember, 1250 being one of those psychological levels, especially with a stock that's moved this much between the 5 and the 250 level. So they push it underneath that 1250. We got selling, don't get me wrong, but we know that they're going to try to bring it back up to actually build that position. Nothing can go down too quickly without a pullback because of the fact that it's impossible from them to be able to. Well, technically, the short started, if we go back up, Oscar, if we actually look at it, the short started from about 40. So 24 means we were late, but that's why I tell you guys I don't play the options part of it because I just don't like the exposure that my stock gets from it. So we know that if a stock is going to make its move afterwards, we're going to be able to continue. Someone that's way better than me was in since 40, probably since way above that. But guess what we got in? Underneath that 25 level would have been a great pre-market trade, but in all reality, it was when that break of the 20 with no riders coming in on that ass side that showed us, guess what, it's time to go. So we continued into that, and like I said, there's no reason in the world for this afternoon, and we're going to keep it on our list. There's no reason in the world that we're not going to get back to this 12 because there's a ton of selling that came in from there. Needs to pull up, take that break. Remember, 12 o'clock could not be a better point in time for a stock to come back to reality. Okay, we look for psychological levels, but then 12 o'clock, everyone's going to lunch. So the stock starts pulling back up, and as we come into this afternoon and we start getting more volume, pushing down towards that 12 level is just a perfect case scenario. You could see we just, as I'm talking, we already know what's going to happen, but we're getting more selling coming into that 1350 to show us where this thing needs to go. All right, so just unbelievable trade for a lot of you. I know some of you guys have sent me your journals. Oscar, like I said, I'll get back to you this afternoon. I already have your notes from last night, but I know some of you guys sent me my journals on this, and you guys just on point. So a few other things going to be looking at this afternoon. ENPH. Okay, even though the fact that it's not really doing much, I am a sucker for a smooth stock, and it really trades based off of the prints that you get. like a smooth stock. It's a little bit consolidated and volume is garbage, so volume needs to pick up before we even think about doing anything else. But overall, when we get the prints, it trades very smoothly. It just takes a little bit more patience. You can see off the levels, it's actually a beautiful stock. So I'm going to keep watching this, but obviously the volume needs to pick up. Okay, LSCC is another one that I'm going to be paying attention to. Volume is garbage, another one. These afternoon meetings, most of what I'm going to be saying, the volume is going to be garbage, okay? But overall, it's even for such small volume, it's trading very, very smooth. So it's something that I definitely want to watch. We can look at this 20 level. This 20 level has a little bit of prints, nothing that's too special. One of the most interesting prints that I saw is this 220 that came in right, 10 after 1. But it's just showing that we do have buying up here. So overall, if we do get that volume to kick in and we get a trigger back towards that, certainly somebody that I'm willing to follow. Not going to be the highest percentage trade because remember, these are not controlling prints, but overall the prints themselves are there back towards that upside. And if not, if we continue to see riders coming back in, guys, doesn't matter. I'm perfectly fine coming back down to hit this orb line. As long as I can make 50 cents on a trade, I'm with it. And then WKHS. Oops, that's not the right spot. WKHS. So nothing really going on right now. Volume is absolute garbage, but as we know with these cheaper stocks, it has not gotten a kiss of death. So something that I have to keep my eye on. It's like I said, it's on the side list because it's not great, but we do know from coming up earlier, we have great buying around that 525 area and even higher. So the fact that it's still holding, if it holds this orb line, I will continue to watch it. But once it breaks this orb line, I have no interest whatsoever. This is a very, very strong support level. We can see it's concrete from coming back into it and hitting. So we have the prints above. We have, a perfect setup. The problem is that it's just not trading. So until it starts trading, not going to do anything with it. But if that volume starts to come back in and we get a trigger back towards that upside, we know that it has more room up there. So I know I'm going talking very fast and we're going quick because we have 10 minutes until 2 o'clock comes. Make sure banks and gold pay attention. Our everyday stocks pay attention. We are going to get some type of catalyst coming in at 2 o'clock. But before we finish, guys, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else that we see out there that I missed that we want to go over? JWN. Okay, so Nordstrom, look at this. Beautiful. Mariola has this magical scanner. I don't know where she gets it from, but when Mariola says something, you definitely go there and you look. All right, so let's take a look. Do we have any prints that came in underneath? Doesn't look like too much. Obviously, there was something that came in up above, and if you look right here, 3280, which is not showing up because of the fact, more than likely, it is a late print that came in. Let's just confirm that. No, interesting. Okay, yes, here we go. Filtered from the chart, 3100. I don't care what news. We all have the same ability to look at that news. Mariola has a magic chart. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Excuse me, a magic scanner. But 31, you can see filtered from the chart basket. This basically means that it was a late print that came back in. So 3280, let's pay very close attention to because we're going to be bullish above and we're going to be bearish below. Traders Exchange should be up at some point today, and I also will get the rest of the classes up. Guys, just coming back, it's been very, very hectic for me. I had to wait to post the other two, and then the market has been great. So at the end of the day, in order to run ATC, I need to make my money other places, obviously through my day trading. So we will get those things up as soon as possible. When something is that, when the market's that great, guys, recordings can wait. Okay, obviously, if you're, in your learning stages, that's kind of a pain in the ass, but at the same time, you don't ever give up volume compared to what's going on. And that's not obviously teaching. I do that all the time. So I break my own rule to help you guys come in. But at the same time, little crackheads, and I love that. That's how you should be. That's how we should be. All right, guys, we have 8 minutes until 2 o'clock. Banks, the list I just gave you, everyday stocks and gold. Make sure you have them on, but not only make sure you have them on, get ready for your orders. Now, don't put your orders in yet because once Once the news comes out and we get that catalyst, you're going to see prints that come back in. Play the prints, play the pullbacks off the prints. That's the best way to go about what we're going to see in a few seconds, about 7 minutes. All right, guys, so I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.